Weekend on UME Radio. The UME Radio app.
Are you ready for the weekend?
Oh, yes, girl. Get your cup of tea and mic check. 1, 2. I am so ready.
Inspire, motivate, and educate. Weekend on UME Radio. The sun is up, so are we.
News, interviews, hot topic, connect. Let us know what's on your mind. Follow, comment, subscribe.
We're everywhere. UME Radio app, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, iTunes, TuneIn, and all other digital platforms. Email us info@umeradio.com. On WhatsApp 201-503-6731. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, all at UME Radio. Follow me, Jessie, on Instagram at ink.jess, that's ink.jess, and on Facebook at Jessie Able, that's JESSELYNE, Able, ABEL.
And follow Marsha J on all social media platforms at official Marsha J. Or you can just check out marshajnow.com.
Weekend on UME Radio with Marsha J and Jessie.
Amplifying the voice of positive influences.
UME Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7. Subscribe on YouTube and click the notification bell.
Learn how to achieve your fitness goals with Althea. Experience targeted personal training programming that focuses on building your strength and flexibility while increasing your nutritional understanding. Choosing to train with Althea will guarantee weight loss and muscle gains during your first 6-week training period. Sign up for a 45-minute consultation today. Official UM Digital Media Brand Share Partner. Get brandshare.com.
Weekend on UME Radio. The Radio app.
Are you ready for the weekend?
Oh, yes. Get your cup of tea and mic check. 1, 2. I am so ready.
Inspire, motivate, and educate. Weekend on UME Radio. The sun is up, so are we.
Interviews, hot topic, connect. Let us know what's on your mind. Follow, comment, subscribe.
We're everywhere. UME Radio, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, iTunes, and all other digital platforms. Email us info@umeradio.com. On WhatsApp 201 503-6731. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, all at UME Radio. Follow me, Jessie, on Instagram at ink.jess, that's ink.jess, and on Facebook at Jessie Able, that's JESSELYNE Able,
And follow me, Marsha J, on all social media platforms at official Marsha J. Or you can just check out MarshaJNow.com.
Weekends on UME Radio with Marsha J and Jessie, amplifying the voice of positive influences.
UME Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7. Subscribe on YouTube and click the notification bell.
Good morning. Hi, Jessie.
Hello.
Jessie, you're muted. Do we have to do this like every... Jessie, it's 6 months in. Are we still doing this?
I'm here.
Listen,
How are you?
God is good. I am absolutely fantastic. I've been having an awesome morning. And before I go any further, I just want to big up Travel Boss, entrepreneursallowed.com, for this beautiful setup, because I had just the craziest morning, internet issues, and I just had to find somewhere they were awesome enough to accommodate me in this beautiful space, guys. So visit their website, entrepreneursallowed.com, and book a beautiful location. And they have many locations in New Jersey, Jamaica, wherever. Just go right over there and just book a location. All right, guys? But I'm doing well, Jessie. How have you been? How week?
I'm doing
Why do I feel like there's a delay?
good this week. It's been great. I love it. I love it. And I absolutely love being on here. And I want to say welcome to everyone, to all of our listeners, our partners, our supporters from all around the world. We want to say thank you so much to Weekends with Marsha J and Jessie. And if you guys are new here, well, we'll be having conversations that will be of help to you. So please join us in the comment section down below. And if you need any advice or answers to any questions, also leave it in the comment section, or feel free to email us at info@umeradio.com. It is our hope that this family program will become a resource for you to be inspired, motivated, and educated. So again, welcome to Weekends with Marsha J and Jessie on UME Radio. I'm Jessie, and with my awesome host,
I am Marsha J in the house.
Yes. It is May 22nd, 2021, and the time is now 8 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, if you guys are on YouTube, we want you to know that we're not just on YouTube, right, Marsha?
Correct. We can also be heard on the following apps. We are inside Apple App Store, Google Play Store, iTunes Podcast, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Google Podcast, Podbean, TuneU, Live 365, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, and Listen Notes. And listen, for awesome deals and discounts, we want you to go to www.umeradio.com/deals. You know we're all about adding value to our community. So go over there and just kind of browse to see what's going on in terms of deals. Yeah. All right. And here's what, there's our website. www.umeradio.com/deals, and you can scroll down. At the end of the month, I know we have for this month Google Workspace, and they're offering a certain percentage off on their products. And we here at UME Radio, we use Google Workspace like every day, all day, right? And definitely, guys, just check it out. Make sure that if you have to use Google Workspace, especially if you're a part of a community or a team, it's absolutely fantastic. If you think that the regular version of Google Space is awesome, you need to upgrade to the premium version. So connect with us on our website, get that percentage off. This particular deal expires at the end of this month. How many days to the end of the month, Jessie? Not much?
Not much.
Not much.
No.
Yeah, today is the 22nd, so we have about a week or so to go. Yes, yes. And also you can see other UDMI special offers to digital entrepreneurs and businesses. We are is not going anywhere. And so we ask you to connect with us. We're always talking about a free ebook. It's right there on the same page, Jessie, all in one spot.
And that ebook is absolutely great because, it's really showing us how to create a plan for a business. Even if you have like a regular store, the times are changing. You need a success plan in order to grow your business and do it all online. So I absolutely love this free ebook.
Awesome. It is absolutely awesome. So again, check us out, guys. umeradio.com/deals. And so let's turn our attention to what's coming up in today's program. We have our morning devotion that's coming up immediately after our run through, courtesy of our daily bread. And then we go straight into the news where we have the news, the front page of the New York Times, Caricom News, africanews.com, and special highlights. And we have, there we go, current affairs. And right after that, we have our inspiration guest, which is Coach Racquel. Right. And she will be having a conversation with us about grant opportunities. And we will also be having our lifestyle segment. In our wellness segment, we're hoping to have Miss Kimberly Chambers, who is a wellness advocate. And Jessie's going to take us through wealth mindset. Know your worth. Know your worth, people. And right after that, we have Voice of Truth. Jessie, you want to tell us about Voice of Truth?
Of course. So Voice of Truth is our program that, we always want to have positive and motivation stories with you guys. So inside Voice of Truth, we not only share positive stories, which we call Ray of Hope, but we also share any breaking news, analysis, exclusive interviews, any migration stories, or COVID-19 stories. And inside Voice of Truth for today, we have an awesome guest, Mr. Diondre Borel, and we have an awesome Ray of Hope feature. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. You do not want to miss it. And then right after that, we have Because You Can, and we're going to be looking at the top 10 charities that's changing the world. Yes. And then last week, we started our talent recap with interview recording artist Juno Awards nominee, Mr. K. Anthony. And this week, we'll be having the part 2 of his awesome interview. Every week we have rivalry. So right after that, we have our DJ Top 5 song playlist. Yes. And inside our travel checklist, as you guys know, I am preparing to head to New York. And so we're going to be having a conversation about that, right? And our favorite game is categories. And so we'll be closing off our program this morning with categories. So stick and stay with us. There's a new term that I heard, but I'm going to tell you in a minute. It's a cross between podcast and something else, but I was going to use it, but then it slipped me right at the edge. All right. So, and right after our podcast this morning, we will be having a brand new kids podisode. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a podisode called UMERADIO Kids Podcast with Auntie Jody and Auntie Trish. And Auntie Jody was here with us last week. They had a bomb first episode, guys, and we're so happy to be adding them to the Weekends family. Yeah. So get the kiddies out and they'll have an awesome time for an hour right after Weekends with Marsha J and Jessie. Yeah. So that's it, Jess. That's what's up for today.
Love it. I love it.
And so, yeah, with that being said, we are going to go into our devotion for this morning, courtesy of our daily bread. All right, so today's topic is peace, be still. Yes. And we are going to be looking at Mark 4, and verse 39. Let me just grab my device. So we're looking at Mark 4 and verse 39. And here's what it says. It says, and he arose and rebuked the wind, and he said to the sea, hush now, be still or muzzled. And the wind ceased, sank to rest as if exhausted by its beating. And there was immediately a great calm and a perfect peacefulness. So that's Mark 4 and verse 39. Let's get into it. So the reading says, I can close my eyes and go back to a time to the house where I grew up. We took turns squinting through the telescope, trying to focus on glowing dots that shimmered and winked. These pinpricks of light, born of heat and fire, stood out in sharp contrast to the smooth ink black sky. Ooh, Jesse, I think I may have to change the topic. You don't think this is the current devotional? That's fine. We're going to be talking about shining stars. Do you consider yourself to be a shining star? I'm not talking about reaching. I'm talking about reaching the heights of human achievement, but standing out against the dark background of brokenness and evil. So the Apostle Paul told the Philippian believers that God would shine in and through them as they held firmly to the word of life and avoided grumbling and arguing. Right? Philippians 2, verse 14 to 6. And just for the sake of context, let me go there. Philippians 2, 14 to 16. And it says, but it was right and commendable and noble of you to contribute for my needs and to share my difficulties with me. And you Philippians yourselves, well known that in the early days of the gospel ministry, when I left Macedonia, no church assembly entered into partnership with me and opened up a debit and a credit account in giving and receiving, except you only. And I'm reading from the Amplified version. For even in Thessalonica, you sent me contributions for my needs, not only once, but a second time. For not that I seek or am I eager for your gift, but I do seek and am eager for the fruit which increases your credit, the harvest of blessing that is accumulating to your account. So our unity with other believers and our faithfulness to God can set us apart from the world. The problem is that these things don't come naturally. We constantly strive to overcome temptation so that we can maintain a close relationship with God. We wrestle against selfishness to have harmony with our spiritual brothers and sisters. But still, there's hope. Alive in each believer, God's Spirit empowers us to be self-controlled, kind, and faithful. Of course, the fruits of the Spirit, Galatians 5. Just as we are called to live beyond our natural capacity, God's supernatural help makes this possible. Philippians 2:13. If every believer became a shining star through the power of the Spirit, just imagine how the light of God would repel the darkness around us. Amazing thought. What causes your light for Jesus to dim? What do you need to brighten it? So many of us don't even understand our capacity. While Jesus is the light of the world, we carry him inside of us. So anywhere we go, we shine brightly. Sometimes we may feel like, oh, I may have to hide behind a person, or I'm not entirely confident about my relationship with God. But understand that you are a shining star. And anywhere you go, you have the capacity and you have the authority as an ambassador for the kingdom to share the light, life, and love of Jesus Christ. Anywhere you go. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for loving us, even when we didn't love ourselves. We thank you for your mercies that are new and fresh even today. We thank you, oh God, for being faithful even when we were faithless, oh God. Lord, I pray this morning that you will help us to stand in the light that you have made us to be. Lord, I pray that everywhere we go, we will not hide under a bushel, but we will shine your light in different crevices and corners, whether it's online or in person. We pray that you will touch our speech, touch our actions, oh God. Forgive us where we're falling short and help us to walk in your truth and to properly represent your kingdom. God, I pray today that you will bless this program. I pray for the team. I pray for our guests. I pray for those who will be watching from the different platforms and listening. And I pray most of all that you will get your glory out of all of it. Father, we place this program before you as we tell you thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen and amen. Awesome, awesome, awesome devotional. Be a shining star. Definitely. How easy is it for you to be a shining star? Where you go, Jessie?
I try to do my best in everything that I do. That's one of my purposes, and I work in healthcare if you guys are new. So most of the time I'm seeing like little kids running around, so I have to activate the inner kid in me and kind of be a light to them. If they're nervous, calm them down and have fun with them. So that's what I'm doing on a daily basis right now.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. And thank you for being a light on behalf of all the kids who may not even realize that you're being a light, Jessie. Thank you so much. All right. So the time is now 8:15, and that was today's devotion, compliments of our daily bread. And now we check in with Jessie for what's on the front page of the New York Times. Over to you, Jessie.
All right, guys. So we know that, there's new elections coming up all across the United States, especially in New York. And we have an ongoing mayor election that's going to take place soon, relatively in a couple months. So I wanted to highlight an article I found in the New York Times here that states, what's the next mayor of New York's one big idea? And it said that they asked the 10 candidates what they viewed as their central proposals. They named plans to offer cash relief to poor New Yorkers, child care grants, and more. So if we scroll down here and keep scrolling, we will see that when Bill de Blasio ran for mayor of New York City in 2013, he was able to successfully distill his campaign into one big idea, creating universal pre-kindergarten. It reflected his larger theme of reducing inequality, and it was a promise that he was able to deliver not long after taking office. The large field of candidates running for mayor this year have plenty of ideas, from cash relief to property tax return, but there is not, as of yet, one bold proposal that stands out in a similar way. You've seen a stunning lack of original big thinking from the candidates, Eric Phillips, a former press secretary for Mr. de Blasio. The mayor's race is widely viewed as the most critical New York City election in a generation, as voters choose a leader to guide the pandemic recovery, but weakened tax revenues can make it difficult to start ambitious new programs. So we scroll down a bit. So ahead of June 22nd primary, the New York Times asked 8 leading Democrats and 2 Republicans to describe their one big idea for the city. And I'll just, since there's 10 of them. I'll just do the highlight points and then keep on going. So first up is Andrew Yang, who wants to offer, let's go back up. Andrew Yang, who wants to offer some poor New Yorkers $2,000 per year. The former presidential hopeful has perhaps the most memorable proposal, a pared-down version of the universal basic income plan that he championed in 2020 presidential campaign. But instead of offering every American $1,000 a month, he proposes giving less than 1/10 of New Yorkers $2,000 on average per year. Then we have Eric Adams wants to create the People's Plan. So Eric Adams, the Brooklyn Borough president, is proposing a People's Plan with 3 components: tax credits for poor New Yorkers, free and low-cost childcare for children under 3, and an app called My City to apply for benefits like food stamps. Under Mr. Adams' tax credit plan, which he is calling NYC Aid, poor families would receive about $3,000 per year. Scott Stringer, sorry if I'm butchering your name, sir, wants to expand affordable housing. The city comparable has a plan to offer what he's calling universal affordable housing. He wants to require new apartment buildings with more than 10 units to make 25% of them affordable to low and middle income families. And he wants to convert nearly 3,000 vacant lots owned by the city into affordable housing run by nonprofit groups. We know there's a whole bunch of vacant lots in New York City, so better be up to good use. You can scroll down. Maya Wiley wants to make child and elder care more affordable. A former counsel to Mr. de Blasio has a universal community care plan to offer 100,000 families a $5,000 annual grant to care for children and older people. The plan includes building community care centers that would provide free childcare, job training, and activities for seniors with the goal of reaching 300,000 New Yorkers in the first year. And
Ambassador of Portugal to CARICOM, H.E. Carlos Amaro. Yes. And we can scroll down. We also have CARICOM forges ahead with digital transformation. So we have statement from the chairman of the Caribbean community, Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, on the selection of the new CARICOM Secretary General. 24th meeting of the Council for Foreign and Community Relations, COF, virtual, will be held the 6th to the 7th. Well, it has gone, 6th to 7th of May 2021, and there's a communique pertaining to that event. So, and as we scroll down, we have CARICOM at Work, International Girls in ICT, Day 2021. And we have efforts being made to promote a results-oriented culture in the region and call for submissions, CARICOM Energy Knowledge Hub. All right, and we can scroll down a little more. And over in Africa, and this is compliments of africanews.com. Some of the top stories making the news in Africa. We have, how can Africa's economy recover from COVID-19? And this is inside Business Africa. And we have an exclusive interview, DRC President and African Union Chief, Felix, please forgive me for massacring this word. I think it's Tashadeki. Over in Zimbabwe, Grace Mugabe fined 5 cows for violating husband's burial. Facing a long and uncertain wait, migrants work odd jobs in Libya. Let's scroll down some more. Milan non-pilots remain under specialist care. Tunisia pleads with Parliament to approve $4 million. Facing a long and uncertain wait, migrants work jobs in Libya. Severe COVID patients more likely to die in Africa than anywhere else. Senegal Museum reopening, celebrating arts back on African soil. And we're scrolling down. Ethiopia aims to plant 20 billion trees by 2020. Kenya Rastafari group seeks to legalize spiritual plant. Astride Mikoko, the young Congolese gymnast aspiring for greatness. Cameroon NGO works towards putting children at rest. Can we scroll down some more? All right, and that's some of the news making the top stories in Africa. We have some more here. Italy sends defense minister to, and it jumped off. Yes, Italy sends defense minister to Niger and Mali amid migrant. Yes, and these are some of the top stories making the front page of the African News, compliments of africanews.com. Yes. COVID-19 still on the top of the news, just to kind of highlight that. And we know it's still happening everywhere, and there are different versions of the virus that are popping up, Jesse. And it's just, we continue to really wait patiently for a solution, wait patiently for it to subside. And our prayers are definitely with everyone and anyone who has been affected by this virus. All right, and now we turn to our inspiration segment. And this is one of our favorite segments here on UME Radio. And each and every week we have with us none other than Coach Racquel. Tell us about Coach Racquel, Jesse.
Yeah, if you guys haven't heard of her, I'm going to fill you in, okay? I don't know where you guys been, but let me tell you about her. So she is a proven strategist, and Racquel is a beneficiary of the E. Cornell Bank of America Women's Entrepreneurship at Cornell University, where she completed certification in entrepreneurship. She is also a certified career coach. As a child, Coach Racquel endured the countless challenges of poverty firsthand, which ultimately shaped her into the compassionate, courageous individual she is today. And in overcoming such hardships, she has become adept at helping others avoid these and other pitfalls of career and life to step into their best versions possible. Above all, with over 15 years of leadership experience, she's a true advocate of positive change in the 21st century, helping individuals and companies achieve their goals. And we welcome you again, Coach Racquel. Thank you so much for coming on our show today. While she's coming in, let me tell you guys what she's going to be talking about today. So she's going to be talking about available grants. And we know that, I just mentioned in the news, in New York news, that a lot of the mayoral candidates are looking to help with the income when it comes to New Yorkers and, benefiting more from income, having more programs available to them. Excuse me. But in the meantime, while she comes in, I want you guys to comment down below where you guys are tuning in from. If you guys are on YouTube, if you guys are on Facebook, if you guys, come in from one of our podcast sites and you guys are on YouTube, let us know where you're listening in or where you guys are tuning in from. And okay, there we have it. So we have the grant and award opportunities this summer. So while she comes in, I'll start reading it. Thank you, producers, for putting that up on the screen there.
Hear me?
Coach, are you in? He's in, guys.
Thank you for your patience.
Thank
you so much for your patience. I am wonderful. I wanted to share something before I share the grant list and everything. I just wanted to share a thought with your listeners, if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so I'll go through this a little bit more next week, but I just want to share with you the topic of, let me make sure it's on the screen. There we go. Reacting versus generating. So what is this? You have generating and you have reacting. For those of you who have had the experience, whether it's in advertising or in the boardroom, where we have the language above the line or below the line. So we're either in one state or the other. We're either above the line or below the line, and that's whether we're generating or we're reacting to something. So, they say the power, you have power in responding as opposed to reacting, because reacting is like a knee-jerk response when you're not in your power. So generating is the way we are despite the circumstances, and reacting is the way we are because of the circumstances. So we always have a choice to make whenever we are impacted by our world or something that's happening in our world. And I just want to give some examples of what this means. So for example, you're above the line when you are actively, consciously and mindfully making decisions and responding to stimulus in your environment. So for example, when you hold yourself accountable, when you make choices, when you see possibilities, finding better ways, taking responsibility, seeking or providing feedback, solving problems, seeking solutions, taking actions, having hope, seeing things. When you are generating your own response, or relying on someone else to exercise power, right? Now you're below the line when you deny or make excuses or with stories and explanations, wait for others to do something, when you're busy finding faults or seeing failures, or when you're blocking or you're not experiencing yourself having control, but instead you feel you have no control. When you think things are out of your control, when you stay stuck, you are below the line. You're not generating a positive response or an independent, thoughtful, or self-aware response that is that demonstrates your self-awareness. So we have above the line or below the line, otherwise called reacting versus generating. So I'm going to give you an example of someone who's either reacting or below the line. Let's say you're walking down the road, you're nicely dressed, you're going in for an interview, so you're in your nice suit that you just bought and you only have just one suit, and you're wearing it and you're walking down the road on your way to this interview, and you're feeling good because you're on time, everything is good, you're ready, you feel happy, and you feel like, yes, I've got this. But then the rain starts falling and you have no umbrella. Now, the person who decides, oh my God, no, I'm wet, what am I going to do? Starts crying, I don't know what to do, I'm just here stuck. What would you say that person is?
Below.
Below the line, right? Now, let's say the same thing happens, but the person stops to think, okay, I'm wet. Do I still want to go for this interview, or do I call in to let them know the situation and see if I can have a second time? Or do I have enough time to go to a store to get a new suit? Or can I go ahead into the interview, sit with the interview, but then let them know that I just got wet on the face? Solutions, possibilities, right? What's that person? Where's that person?
Above
the line.
Above the line, right. So it's not about negativity and positivity, really. It's just about having the capacity to cultivate a response as opposed to just falling victim to what is happening around you. Because nothing just happens. Maybe, perhaps, the rain wetting you is going to be the catalyst to you getting the job, because you show up wet, you explain yourself, and they feel so proud that you came anyway that they just give you the job. For anybody who has ever watched Pursuit of Happiness, when Will Smith went in without the shirt, right? No, he could have, and he didn't just say this happened, so accept it. You know, he had this attitude of gratitude, and he had this acknowledgement and accountability about him when he said, well, this is what happened. And he spoke his truth in confidence. And then he allowed them to make the decision. So there's a difference between being below the line and above the line, being in reactive mode, or generating. And my advice to your listeners today is get into the mode of being generative, be in control of what is happening around you. Now, in light of that, I'd like to share this with you. For those of us who may be seeking funding or opportunities or ways to boost our business, especially in these times, being a part of the eCornell entrepreneur group with Bank of America has really given me access to a lot of information. And as I get those information, I always seek to share it so we can have it. So these are some grant and award opportunities that have spring and summer 2021 deadlines. So for any specific questions about the grant eligibility, you can go to my website, which is mycoachministry.com/blog, or just look for the blog. That's where it is. Okay. So you can click on it, and the links are all there. Clearly, I can't give them to you like this because the links are long, but you can go there today. So here are some funding opportunities. The first one is the Dream Big Awards. And this award offers a $25,000 cash prize to the Small Business of the Year winner. The application deadline is July 16, 2021. You can apply for the awards as a small business or be referred by a local chamber of commerce or trade organization. And the link for more of those details, how to access this, is on the blog, mycoachministry.com. NAV's Small Business Grant. NAV, a loan and credit card matching service, had a 2021 round of grants to help small businesses. The grant prize winner receives a $10,000 grant, and the runner-up received $5,000. Applications are open through May 31, 2021. Please, especially people of my community, please apply. At least I would say apply to all you can. Even don't worry about whether or not you're going to get it. Just apply. GoFundMe Small Business Relief Matching Grant, the GoFundMe.org Small Business Relief Fund will provide micro grants to qualifying small businesses negatively impacted by the COVID-19. If your business raises up to $500, you can get a $500 match from the fund. Black Founders Startup Grant, and I like these ones because that's my community. I'm a Black person, so I identify. So I like when I see opportunities for my community. No disrespect to the rest of the communities, you know. But for my community, Black Founders Startup Grant, Soul Gal Foundation has teamed up with Winky Lux, Blue Mercury, 12 NYC, Twilio, and other sponsors to provide 10,000 to 5,000 cash grants to Black women or non-binary entrepreneurs. Applications are rolling, and for more information, again, mycoachministry.com. Black Restaurant Accelerator Program Also, we've shared this information is shared on the UMERADIO Instagram page as well as my Instagram page. And the UMERADIO Instagram page is at UMERADIO, the letter UME Radio, RADIO, and at My Coach Ministry for my page. You can get them there as well and directs you to the link. So the Accelerator Program for Black restaurateurs, in partnership with PepsiCo Foundation, the National Urban League, through its 12 entrepreneurship centers in cities across the U.S., has launched the Black Restaurant Accelerator Program, BRAP. The program will provide direct grant assistance grants to 500 businesses. That's fantastic. The technical assistant, including entrepreneur coaching. Now, I love that they add this part to the grant because you can get money and just blow it if you don't know how to apply it, right? You must be a Black-owned food service company located in the service National Urban League Entrepreneurship Center. Center in one of the following cities: Atlanta, Georgia, Baltimore, Chicago, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Houston, Jacksonville, Florida, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, New Orleans, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. And if this is not for you, you can also share it with somebody else. If you know if they're there in the location and they have that kind of business, you can also share it with them, please. The other one is Digital Undivided Fellowship. The Do You Fellowship Program will award 10 promising Black or Latinx women innovators with a $5,000 investment in their business and access to unparalleled resources and mentorship necessary to develop their businesses. To learn more and register to be notified when the applications are available, again, go to the website, mycoachministry.com blog. Black Girl Ventures Pitch Competition. The BGV Pitch Competition is a crowdfunding meets pitch competition. Each founder has 3 minutes to pitch and a 3-minute Q&A from the audience. And for Black-owned businesses in Florida, the Black Business Loan Program, BBLP, provides lending opportunities and technical assistance to Black entrepreneurs throughout the state of Florida. There's a possibility that this is restricted to the Miami-Dade area, the Miami-Dade County. Go on my website, click the link, and you get all the details. On the BBLP, those are available from $2,500 to $75,000. Award opportunities, Citizen Awards. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation has opened nominations for its annual Citizens Awards, which includes a category for small businesses. Looks like this is an award in name only, no financial award. The deadline to submit is June 25. Awards are good, really, really good. That's how I got in the program, the Bank of America program, sponsored, and it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. I know I'm a certified entrepreneur. Other resources, leniency from credit card companies. Many credit card companies has released statements announcing that they'll be giving COVID-19 relief for small businesses. They're doing this by waiving service fees for 30 days or offering other types of disaster relief assistance. Be sure to check with your bank or a credit card company to find out if they are offering any special services during the COVID-19 pandemic. So don't be reactive and start stressing because you don't know how you're going to pay your bill. Call the company to find out if there are opportunities. Be proactive. There are opportunities for waivers and considerations and so on. And the next one is questions about PPP loans. The SBA will continue to accept PPP loan applications until May 31. This year, the U.S. Chamber, there's a page with the link right here. This page, U.S. Chamber page, has some great information about the 23 frequently asked PPP loan questions. Please visit it so you can get understanding, so you can make informed decisions. And finally, the U.S. Chamber also has a section on their website devoted to saving small businesses. Some great resources and funding opportunities are mentioned at the link that's available on my website. And I just want to say courtesy and special thanks to Kirsten Barker. She is the program director for the program. the Bank of America Institute for Women's Entrepreneurship at Cornell University. She's really fantastic and phenomenal. So just want to say thank you to her. And that's what I have to share with you today. Don't forget, let me just remind you of the message earlier. Instead of reacting, generate. So instead of being because of the circumstances, try being despite the circumstances. That's
powerful.
Do you ladies have any questions for me?
No, but what you said was crystal clear, but we definitely want to say thank you so much, as usual, for enlightening us and empowering us in the ways that you do. And practically today, in terms of the different grants and opportunities that are there, listen, that's what we are about here on UME Radio, empowering people. So remember to visit Coach Racquel's website. What's the website, Jessie?
It is mycoachministry.com.
mycoachministry.com, helping you achieve transformative success. All right. And now it's time for a new feature, Voice of Truth. Over to you, Jessie.
All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We have an awesome guest inside Voice of Truth today. We have Mr. Diondre Borel. And just so you guys, little synopsis, he's going to tell us a little bit more about himself. But he grew up in San Jose, California and Oakley, California. And he states that, I quote, "My career as a professional NFL pro showed me who I was as a person. I am greater than the NFL because my purpose in life was bigger, and it is to impact the world in many ways. I choose to be a contribution to the world. God first." Thank you so much, Mr. Borel, for coming into our show this morning. We are so happy to have you here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Do I sound clear? Is everything clear?
You're clear. You're clear. You're all good.
I'm just thankful to be here. And again, I just thank God for allowing this to happen. And, I'm thankful for you all. But yes, my name is Diondre Borel. I am a connected, trusted, and vulnerable leader. And I am amazing. I am extraordinary. I believe in myself, and I believe in the Lord. He is the one who controls my life. So I love staying obedient to the Lord because he shows who he is to me every day, and he loves me every day. So since he loves me every day, I choose to love myself every day.
Awesome. And we have up on the screen here to get in contact with him or just, reach out his Instagram page, which is Diondre Borel. So, Mr. Borel, or if you want me to call you Diondre, whichever, tell us a little bit about, because some people may know you from being in the NFL, but how if you're, transitioning or just focusing on other purposes of your gift, being a certified coach and fitness trainer and impact speaker. Tell us about that transition and your thought process and why you did that.
At first, it was a challenge because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was still pursuing to play pro football at that time. So after playing in the NFL, of course, I played indoor football as well. And about 2016 is when I started training my first client. And from there, it was going back and forth about playing. So I was like, man, do I play or do I go train and create this business? So I kept playing, coming back during the springtime, or springtime is when indoor football starts. So I was going back and forth with training and playing, but indoor football is February till summertime. So it was a different kind of transition. I wasn't able to focus on the training perspective and creating a business. So that transition was a little bit different. It was difficult in that moment to see what I was passionate about, but I did know that I wanted to stay around football, stay around sports, and decided to keep training people and just praying and letting the Lord lead me to where I am now. That's what changed, and that's what I seen happen. The Lord just did it big for me and helped me make my decision.
Awesome. And how did you, for people that are looking to transition or maybe in that kind of crosshairs of starting their own business or taking that leap of faith, can you tell us some advice with that? And we also have a listener question coming in, and that says, it is powerful to hear a man of color sound so self-aware and so intention about self-love. How do you come about this mindset? And were you just born that way, or is it a credit to your upbringing or experience of the past?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep. All right, you're on mute now.
All right, I'm off mute. Okay.
You're good.
Just seeing where the Lord wanted to take me, I just, it's just amazing. It's really indescribable. When you release something and let something go that isn't serving you, then the Lord will be able to work with you and work for you, and you won't be doing things by yourself. And that's what I seen. It was just him. I mean, we all go through things in life, and it's just amazing to see how the Lord works. Like, I really don't have words to explain, but God is God, Jesus Christ. It's just so amazing to see that. It just brings joy to me and peace. I had a peace of mind knowing that God can just guide me and take me where I want to go and still give me my heart's desires, because he knows my heart's desires. But when I'm obedient to him, I can go further. He can take me to the promised land. But it's just amazing. So for anyone that is going through something or wants to know what their passion or purpose is, I'd say pray about it, write it down, think about the things that you actually want to do and what you want in your life, and really see yourself for who you are and really work on those things. Just self-awareness, creating awareness, speaking to people, seeking help wherever you need it at. It's okay to show your feelings. It's okay to be emotional. It's okay to not know where your next move is at this moment, because when you have faith and you put the trust in the Lord, he'll guide you wherever you want to go.
We have another question coming in that wants to know how has your faith developed so deeply? Is this because of a childhood experience? Can you share a little bit more about your childhood upbringing?
Yes. It's my childhood. I didn't grow up with my real father around, so I was with my mom at the time. She was single, and then my stepfather came around. So for me, growing up as a child, I knew what I wanted to do when I seen and watched football on TV. So I was so invested in it that nothing was gonna stop me to get there. And every year I believed it since I was about 10 years old that I was gonna play in the NFL. Just growing up, my mom supported me. She believed in me as well. My stepdad believed in me as well. But things weren't always perfect. Things weren't always how I wanted it to go.
I
Okay,
think he's frozen.
Are you there? Are you frozen?
Yeah. While we give the internet some time to readjust itself, Jesse, it's really amazing to see, like was said before by our listener, a Black man, able to really lift himself and to be the type of example that he wants to see. I hear him talking about not growing with his dad, I think, and things like that. And to see that, I mean, the NFL is a big deal. Let's just put that out there.
Yeah.
It is a major deal. And to know that he is really reaching out, doing this not just for himself. I think he's back, but he's also impacting others with what God has blessed him with is absolutely commendable and amazing. Welcome back, Mr. Borel. You can continue.
So I was saying that, just when things aren't going well in a household, things aren't always perfect, but you can always lean on God. And even when you don't know the Lord, yet, it's okay because He loves you for who you are. And He has a way of showing who He is in moments of, distress, or when you're not happy, or when you're angry. And as we get older, or at least for me, as my experience, during my experiences, I started to see He was speaking to me louder. And that's how I was able to operate in my purpose right now. But, my childhood wasn't always perfect. I wasn't always perfect. I wasn't always the best son. We all have our bad days. Parents may tell you, what they want you to do. And it may be right for you and it may be not. But you have a decision and you make a choice and you just respect who's speaking to you. And, if you are going through things at home as a child or a teenager, just remember that people can also learn from you. So just because someone is 20 years older than you, or a parent is 40, or whoever, you can learn from anybody. You can learn from a child, so it doesn't matter how old you are. Just take in account that you can learn from everybody and you can have an understanding and see where they're coming from. But it all starts with you. So once you change, then everything around you changes.
Yeah, and I could completely agree with that, especially growing up. And when you're a teenager, you kind of feel like no one's able to understand you, and you kind of drift wayward, even if, or not as grounded in your faith as you were or growing up from, childhood, or whether your parents or grandmother instilled it in you. Can you tell us one of those experiences growing up, just for, we have listeners from various ages, and to highlight a lesson that you learned looking back now as the man that you are now?
You're just saying in general. Well, I think when I was in high school, my coaches did have my best interest, right? And I was hanging around certain friends that, maybe I shouldn't have been hanging around because of the places where I was going. And, I wanted to make my own decisions, right? We all have the free will and choice to make decisions. Now it's about making the right decision, but sometimes you got to learn for yourself, and that's okay. It's okay to learn for yourself. But, sometimes I didn't listen to my coaches. Sometimes I wanted to do my own thing. And then
like what? What'd you do?
Oh, it's just, just hanging around with the wrong people. Just whether it's them getting in trouble at school and I'm around them, right? Getting caught up in drama at school with that person. And that's not something I needed to be around because it wasn't right for me. It wasn't healthy for me. I don't regret it. It's a learning lesson and understanding. Hey, people that have wisdom, lessons, and sometimes we don't because we need to learn for ourselves.
We have a couple questions that are coming in, 2 of them. So one is from a teen male, and he says, "You sound sure. How did you get so sure? And do you think sports helped you? I feel very fearful a lot of the times, especially when I see the news with everything that's going on, especially being a Black man in this world."
Well, I go back to my childhood experience, believing that I was going to play in NFL. I mean, I really feel like my faith was rooted then, and I know that because the Lord gave me that ability. And everybody has a gift, but it's
well, I think we might have some internet issues again with Mr. Borel, but as he comes in again, I just wanted to really, highlight the fact that for all of our listeners out there, what I really liked is that he's not just using one gift as him being an NFL player. He's using multiple gifts that God has given him in various aspects, and we're going to go a little bit deeper with that. But I truly think that that is important, and that's what I want to share with you guys. You want to share with you guys on UME Radio, especially on our show, that we all have different attributes about us, like we're not just hosts, we're not just, you're not just the mom or just the wife or just the person, whatever you do for your job. We all have different positive attributes about ourselves and gifts that God has given us, and we have to share that with the world. Hey, Mr. Borel.
Yes,
thanks for coming back in.
I apologize.
No problem.
Yes, it's just your faith, just being rooted in your faith. I know my faith has grown over the years, so if you're fearful, it's okay. But believe in yourself and know that there's support around you. There's people that want to see you win. There's people that want to see you succeed. So even when you're fearful, be around people that want to encourage you and see you win, and just praying for the right people, praying for people to be removed from your life. That's okay. Because you want the right people around you. You want the right people to encourage you. You want the right guidance. But it's okay to be afraid because God will take care of everything. That's just what I believe. It's what I know. And since a kid, I knew to be obedient, and I could tell the Lord would bless me when I was obedient. So it's not something now that I didn't know. I mean, it's not something now where I'm just discovering it, that my obedience was through the Lord. It's more so like it's already been instilled in me since I was born. Maybe now it's just clearer. It's clearer now. It's like, wow, I've been like this since I was a kid, but this is something that he already is already ordained for my life. Diondre, be obedient and I'll give you the things that you want because I have a bigger purpose for you, to impact the world, to impact people, to impact the youth, to impact adults. So it's amazing to see it now and how big it will and it can be.
Yeah, I have a younger brother who is 19. He does track at school, and I want to know, what do you say to teen boys who are aspiring to become a sports star? And I know a lot of Black boys believe that sports is the only way to achieve success, or that's one of the avenues that we see online in the media and society for Black men, is to go through sports to achieve success or wealth. What lessons have you learned that you can share to those boys out there?
Well, if you're passionate about your sport, go do it. It's a gift that God has given you. It's a gift that He gave you to go do. He gives you gifts, and He doesn't just give you one. So don't believe that that one gift is the only thing you have. You have more. That's just one that He gave you, right? Because you're not gonna be able to run fast for the rest of your life. When you turn 70 years old, you ain't gonna run track no more. You can, but you won't run the same speed you ran when you're 20, 25. And that's a physical gift. That's one. But now you got to use your heart, your mind, your spirit, whatever He gives you inside of you. You have more. Use your voice. Your voice is a gift. You have gifts drawing, draw. You're an artist, be an artist. You can sing. That's your passion. That's your gift. So I'd say for all of you that are in high school, youth, tap into your other gifts. Just because you can play a sport, that's not your end all be all. You're more than that sport. You're more than enough. Because when that's taken away, what do you have? Right? And once you learn about yourself and know yourself, you have you. Once you understand that you have you, this is my experience. When I understood I had me, I was bigger than the NFL. I didn't need that to make me happy. Right? I make me happy. I smile because I love myself. I smile and laugh because Diondre is Diondre. There's one of me. And no one can be me. Just like no one can be you on this call. There's one of you. So everyone out there, for all the young boys that are athletes, tap into your gifts and understand who you are and have conversation with each other. Get to know each other, get to talk about what you love to do, come up with ideas so you guys can do them together. You don't want to work individually. As a team, you can achieve more. And you won't put as much stress on, you won't put stress on yourself when you work as a team. You can go further. You look at football, Tom Brady. Tom Brady wouldn't be Tom Brady without his teammates. He can't win the Super Bowl by himself without the rest of the team. So think about that in life. When we're living our life, when you're living your life, you can go further with the team. And that's how you become great.
That is great. That is absolutely great. Can you tell us a little bit about your business with Create Elite, and some testimonies that you from your clients? Can you hear me? I can't hear you right now.
Okay, let's see if we're back.
Can you hear me right now?
Yep, I can hear you. You're back.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so it used to be Borel Sports Training, my last name. And then one day I was in the room and I was like, well, I am creator. I had it written on the wall. It wasn't just I am creator, it was other words. And I was like, I am creator. I was like, what about creator elite? And then I thought about it. And one of my friends was making the logo. He's like, well, what if you change it to create elite? I was like, okay, that sounds good. Create elite. And that's who we are. We are creators of this world. We're one with the creator, and we can create. We're creators of this world, so we can do the same. We have the same power that the Lord has. He gives it to us. So just with that, I've trained a few clients, and right now I have a few one-on-one clients. So with them, I'm just thankful for them. It's not just the physical part. I'm able to pray with them. I'm able to have a conversation with them. They can tell me about what's going on in their life. And when they are coming back to me and saying, hey, Diondre, that prayer, we prayed and this happened. And I'm just like, wow. But that's a part of the training. That's a part of the business. It's about healing people, helping people perform as an athlete and in their personal life, whatever it is that they want to do, whether it's them being passionate about something outside of sports, whether it's someone that just wants to stay physically fit, but then now they're becoming a better self. And now they know what they are passionate about, discovering what they're passionate about. That's what it's about. So I'm just thankful for that. And, it's been good so far. And I'm just excited for what the Lord's about to do. I know he's building a platform, creating a foundation for me, and putting me around the right people to make it go up and just be big.
Awesome. Diondre. Can I ask a question just to interject here? What has been one of the more outstanding testimonies to date where a client was concerned when they came in contact with Create Elite? And it can even be before the name. What is an outstanding testimony from, let's say, a client in terms of changes they've had since they've come in contact with Create Elite? I hope you heard that.
I can barely hear. I hear the last part of the coming in contact.
Can you share one astounding testimony since they've been part of Create Elite, or even before that?
Oh, okay, yeah, one of their testimonies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I trained Miss Jessie. She's about 67, and we feel like it's a divine connection because she speaks to me in spirit. She understands my spirit, and she wants me to operate in spirit. So she holds me accountable. And just with her, she she has seen herself have more mobility and flexibility. That's what she's told me. She's like, I have more mobility and flexibility from when I first came. She always says it every time she's walking in to the gym. She's just like, oh, this man right here had me mobile in 2 days. More mobile in 2 days than what she was before. So that's real big to me to see. And I'm just thankful that, what I'm doing works for the clients and that she can actually see it and be a testimony and talk about it and be excited about it. Today she just told me she was motivated now to keep working out, going in the gym and doing things on her own. And that's big. That's big. And it makes me happy because she wants to do it. And that's the inspiration that she got from working out with me.
That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Thank you for that.
All right, and I have another question. So can you tell us a little bit about, because as you said, Miss Jessie, not me guys, but Miss Jessie, her being of an elder age, she's young, she's still young, but elder age, the importance of people, let's say 50 plus, still being mobile?
Yes, I think that's the most important, because they need to just stay mobile and active. As you get older, right, if you don't work out, you become less flexible. You're not as strong. You lose muscle tissue, and just being able to move around, have mobility and stability is what the elderly needs, and that's just their motivation. They want to be able to live longer, walk better, feel better, and the approach to them is different than someone of 20, 25, 30, 15 years old. It's about their mobility and just getting them back into the groove, feeling like they're young, and just creating that mobility and flexibility, right? That's very important. The approach is different, but it's good for their mind. It's good for them to see and regain that confidence. And just having that confidence can just take you further. You know, they know that they may not be as strong as they were 20, 30 years ago, but it's just important for them just to be active. They just want to be active. And sometimes that's all it is, you know. Elderly folks just want to be active and be around and have conversation, and that's good. That's healthy. That's mental health too. Mental, physical health, and that's what they need.
It's awesome. We have a question that's coming in. Do you offer virtual services? If so, let me know, because I could use a one-on-one right now.
We definitely, I can do that. You know, I was doing it when I was in California, and I hadn't done it up until now that you asked. But yes, I do offer virtual services. If you guys want to work out, we can create a Zoom call or whatever, whatever video chat we can use. I feel like Zoom is the best because you can put so many people on a call. But we can do an online workout. It can be body weight. I know some of you may not have weights, but it's important to be able to control your body. You always want to build a foundation before you start taking leaps and jumps. So you think about how many people get hurt off of the movement that haven't worked out. So it's important to, build a foundation, whether it's push-ups, planks, squats, pulls, all that stuff is important. And that's where you want to start before you start going into everything else. That's the foundation. So yes, online services, just let me know and we will come up with a plan and a date and time and we'll do it.
Awesome. And we have another question that wants to know that, they said that this is really empowering, but they also want to know if you're still going to be playing in the NFL. Did you leave? Are you thinking of coming back?
Well, I did practice, today and yesterday. And, I'm leaving it to the Lord. I do want to play. He knows my heart's desire. I believe, I will play again. I didn't leave. Always working towards playing at that level. But again, I just been led by the Lord. So did pray about it. That's why I'm smiling right now. For someone to ask that, I love that question because I do want to play. And I do want to play in the NFL again. And I believe I will. It's in the Lord. If it's in the Lord's will, I believe I will. And I'm not too far from a team that I previously played with, but the Tennessee Titans. I'm living in Memphis, Tennessee right now, so I'm 3 hours away. I know it's a possibility.
Awesome. And another question that came in that said, if it's okay to ask, how old are you? You sound very mature and cerebral, and they're very proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I am 32 years old.
There, guys. He's 32 years old. I mean, you could have Googled too, but he's 32. It's exclusive. It's exclusive here. Now you guys know. And also, you're not just doing this business, you're also an impact speaker, right? Are you using your business being an impact through your business, or do you also just speak at certain events and everything?
Yes, I'm working on different events, applying to events, creating my own events, just being in contact with those who can help me be in an event or create an event, be a keynote speaker, and just going from there. I believe, my voice comes with the business as well. But, I'm looking forward to traveling and speaking to thousands, hopefully millions, and impacting millions. That's what I want to do. And that's what I will do, because I know the Lord wants me to do that. So I believe in myself, but I believe in the Lord a lot. And I have faith that He will do it. I'm very excited about it, actually. I'm excited to be on here, and I feel like I'm doing it right now, impacting you guys and everybody. So that's what I want to do. It's not about me. It's not always about me. It's about us. It's about you all seeing who you are, becoming the best.
Awesome. May I ask a question, Jesse?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, Diondre, quick question. Who's your mentor or person that you look up to in sports and also in impact speaking? Or someone you admire in that area?
Okay.
Not just mentor, but someone that you look up to in that arena.
Oh, someone that I look up to in that area. Well, I used to watch Michael Vick a lot. That was my favorite. It still is my favorite player. He's retired right now. I just used to see him, make plays, and I'm like, that's me right there. That's exactly me. I do the same thing he does. And I don't know, I was just watching him like, that's how I want to play. That's how I play. That's what I can do. I know I can do it, but just watching him on TV, even right now, Aaron Rodgers, I used to play with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. I respect his game. He's a great player. And just watching him play as well, just seeing how he throws the ball, I mean, that's the right way to do it. How he throws the ball, how he spins the ball with his hands, and just at that position, playing quarterback is just, it's a tough position, and it's meant for leaders. So when you watch those guys play, they're leaders, and that is who I am, a leader. I played quarterback in college and overseas, and played receiver in NFL. But man, that quarterback position is tough, and it's not as easy as people think. It's a lot of responsibility. So you got to hold yourself accountable, just as a leader would do outside of sports. And just mentor my pastor in California, Bishop Carlton Delano Leonard, and my pastor, Pastor Lalita Leonard. I'm just thankful for them, accepting me for who I am, and, just loving me as a son. And just amazing feeling. I thank my parents as well, for my mom for birthing me and being there, and my father and my stepdad, just all of them. I just really thank the Lord for being there for me since I was born. Before I was born, and knew He was going to create me.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Diondre. We're going to have to wrap up this interview because I'm not sure, but I think the audio connection is really bad. And so we're going to bring him on, guys. I'm Finding Happy on Thursdays. Defining Happy on Thursdays at 10 a.m. But there's so many things to be gleaned, just so much nuggets from this interview. Diondre, we want to say thank you so much for taking the time to be here and also to pouring into our audience and just listening to you as a man of God, a man of faith, just sharing your love for sports, your love for impacting, and just your love for people. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you all. And you all have a best morning. You said it was morning time over there, right?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah. So, yes, have a blessed morning, blessed day. And, you know, I'm just thankful for everybody that was on this call, that was on this podcast radio. You all stay blessed and know that the Lord is going to do it for you. And just be watching me and encouraging me, and let's cheer each other on as we move forward.
Yes, of course we will. And I want all of our listeners here to know if you guys want to get in contact with Diondre, follow him on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, all at Diondre Borel. That's DIONDREBOREL.
Yes, thank you so much and have a wonderful day, Diondre. All right.
Marsha, he was such a good guest. I love talking to him.
Absolutely. And I particularly love when we have men of faith that come on the program to just share and be themselves, and it's something that we are very passionate about here on UME Radio. Our plan is to touch 1 million lives, and we're beginning to do that. And when we can combine our thoughts with thoughts of persons like Diondre, it's not the regular corporate, it's sports, it's something else, but it's something that I know men are into. And you see, guys, you can find an example everywhere you go. God has his people planted everywhere, all around, in every sector of society. There's someone there to support you in all that you do. Awesome interview there with Diondre Borel. You are inside Weekends with Marsha J and Jesse on UME Radio platform. You are watching us on, listening to us. We want to thank you so much for staying with us so far. We are an hour and 39 minutes into our Saturday program. Jesse, it only gets better from here.
It does. It does. And
yes. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I don't want to cut you off or anything. But while we're inside Voice of Truth, I do want to share with you guys really quickly a Ray of Hope story that comes out of India. Up there.
Yeah, we know India's a lot's going on over in India, actually. And it's nice to know that that's actually happening over there at this time. Yeah, can't wait to hear this story, Jess. Remember we just did a story a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Yes, we did do a story a few weeks ago talking about the COVID-19 crisis that's going on in India. And the title of this program, while our producers bring that up on the screen here, this article that states that India's richest man retools factories to provide free oxygen to 1 in 10 COVID patients across the country.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just, we were just talking about this, about how, we have the access and the resources available, and we don't know the people that, within our next door neighbors, other businesses, coworkers that we are with, and just like this man who is using his wealth for the benefit of the country. And while the producers bring it up backstage, I'm gonna just read off the article if you guys don't mind, real quick. So it says that as India grapples with an unprecedented new wave of COVID-19, one of the country's major companies is working round the clock to get free oxygen out to people in need. Traditionally, Reliance Industries is not a manufacturer of medical grade liquid oxygen, but over a year into the pandemic. The company, which is owned by India's richest man, and I'm sorry for mispronouncing his name, but I'm gonna probably butcher it, but Mukesh Ambani, Ambani has gone on to become the nation's largest producer from a single location, supplying over 55,000 MT of medical grade liquid oxygen to people since March 2020. At its refinery cum petrochemical complex in Jamnagar, saying that right, and other facilities, Reliance is producing over 1,000 MT of medical grade liquid oxygen per day, or over 11% of India's total production, meeting the needs of nearly 1 in every 10 patients needing the life-saving treatment across the country. And guys, I just wanted to share this really quick article here, and what's on the screen, this is a gentleman that is doing so. So yeah, guys, I just want to share that little article, little ray of hope, even though we know what's going on throughout the world with COVID-19. This is a really great positive outcome.
Yeah, 1 in 10 is still better than 0. Listen, any number is better than 0. Let's put that out there. So hats off to India's richest man who retools factories to provide free oxygen to COVID patients across the country, something that is so needed, guys. And if you can connect even with your local charities that are doing things in your own country, wherever you are, to help India out, listen, do it. Here in Jamaica, we absolutely feel for them, particularly because at the beginning of our outbreak, they were the ones that supplied us with vaccine. Yeah, and so now to see them going through this, our hearts do go out to them. Awesome segment, Jesse. Awesome segment. And speaking of charity, we are about to go into our Because We Can segment in keeping with the theme. Of course, inside this segment is where we have conversations about charity and philanthropy and things of the sort to help to, as Jesse said, ray of hope, spread sunshine. It was Mother Teresa who said, it's not how much we give, but how much love we put into giving. And also, John Holmes added, there is no exercise better for the heart than people reaching down and lifting people up. Awesome. So philanthropy refers to charitable acts or good works that help others in the society as a whole. Philanthropy can include donating money to a worthy cause or volunteering your time, effort, or other forms of altruism. And today we look at the top 10 charities changing the world. And we're going to bring the links up shortly. All right, so for those of you who are watching, go ahead, Jesse.
I wanted to talk to you about charities in general, and why do you think everyone should be part of a charity or be linked up with the charity and the importance of it?
Go ahead.
Do you think that everyone should be involved in a charity, or at least should be donating to charities?
When we say charity, it's a very big word, and charity, it's different for everybody, because you can connect with an organization as well as you can do your own charity. Like, you have a neighbor next door, right? You don't know if they're okay. You don't know what they need. There's that person that you walk by on the street. For some of us, especially for the Caribbean context, we do a lot of charity where food is concerned, because we like to cook and we cook really good food. And a lot of times we have a tendency to share a lot, So when we think of charity, yes, it should be done, but it doesn't need to be on a large scale or in a manner that you feel like, hey, I have to show off what it is that I'm doing and blow a trumpet ahead of me because I'm gonna do it. Just do it from your heart. Do it with love, and just help somebody. If it's taking the shirt off your back, giving somebody, or your pair of slippers, flip-flops, something. Just help somebody somewhere, because no man is an island. No man can stand alone. Yeah, that's what I think anyway.
That's true. That's a good way to look at it. I didn't think of that way, Marsha. Thank you.
Yes. And so for this information, we want to thank BorganMagazine.com for sharing with us the top 10 charities that are changing the world. I do think all charities are changing the world, yes, but this is just a mention of some top 10. And if you're watching or listening to us this morning and you have a favorite charity that you want to give a shout out, go ahead and link them in the comments below, because today we are saluting charities. And the article says, there are a million charities with different mission statements and different ways of doing things, but the one thing they all have in common is that they're trying to change the world for the better. And of course, there are 10 nonprofit charities currently that are ranking in changing the world. So the first one we have, as the link comes up, is as a charity is water. Mission, bringing clean and safe drinking water to people in developing nations. So according to Charity Water, 800 million people in the world do not have access to clean water. Can you imagine? This is one person out of every 9. Wow. The organization plans to build freshwater wells, and this is the organization, Charity, sand filters and rainwater catchments in developing countries. Charity Water is based on donations, so everyone can help to provide safe and clean drinking water. Second on the list is Books for Africa, and that's the BFA, and its mission to end book famine in Africa. So Books for Africa has shipped more than 28 million books to 49 different countries since 1988. Books for Africa collects books from publishers, schools, libraries, individuals, and organizations. The BFA sorts through the books and categorizes them by age, appropriation, and subject. Shipped over by sea, we know that that's more cost effective, where the costs are covered by everyday people with their donations. This organization has also donated 616 computers, 15 brand new law libraries within the past 12 months. And this is 2020 to 2021. Right. We could all get involved by simply donating to help send books over to kids who hunger to read a book, and by sorting through our books and allowing them to be opened for a second time by someone who could live a better life through the pages of a book. That's number 2. Number 3, the Midwest Food Bank, MFB. Their mission is we seek to alleviate hunger and poverty by delivering food and disaster relief free of charge. It began in 2003 with the Kaiser family. They started donating food from their own barn. This nonprofit organization began by giving food to 10 pantries in McLean County, Illinois, and now they give food to over 740 organizations across the Midwest and the Southwest. The food given out each month now reaches, listen to this, it reaches 500,000 people and distributes over 3.75 million in terms of food each month. This organization consists of over hundreds of volunteers and donations and corporate partners. Number 4, we have on the list Kiva, Kiva. Their mission: we envision a world where all people, even in the most remote areas of the globe, hold the power to create an opportunity for themselves and others. Kiva is based off loans from other people. People are able to go to Kiva's website and find a person in a developing country who they would like to loan money to. Isn't that interesting? The loan could be as small as $25, which makes a huge difference to those who are living in poverty. Once someone takes the loan, they are repaid and are able to repeat the process if they would like to. Kiva works with microfinance institutions on 5 continents to provide loans to people without access to traditional banking systems. 100% of the loan goes to the person, and you would 100% of the loan goes to the person you would like to lend the money to. Wow, that's a smart way to use money. Number 5, United Nations Children's Fund. And I know some of us have heard about this before. UNICEF was created in 1946 after World War II to help European children who were suffering from famine and disease. So this organization helps children survive by providing the right nutrition that they need, provides treatment, prevention to those who are living in areas that are affected by HIV, protects children from violence, exploitation, and abuse. UNICEF is now active in over 190 countries and territories. Number 6, Human Rights Watch, HRW, and their mission, defending human rights worldwide. It's an international and independent organization that strives to investigate worldwide abuse and let it be known, to pressure those with power to respect rights and secure justice. Human Rights Watch meets with governments, United Nations, regional groups like African Union and European Union, financial institutions, and corporations to press for changes in policy and practice that promote human rights and justices around the world. And we are winding down. We have invisible children. Have you ever heard of them? So their mission, they focus exclusively on the LRA conflict through the integrated 4-part model that addresses the problem in its entirety. Immediate needs and long-term effects. Well known for the Coney 2012 movement, they use media to their advantage and they create film shows to show LRA atrocities and introduce them to new audiences. They mobilize huge groups of people to support and advance international efforts to end LRA. Right? And Invisible Children works with partners to build and expand systems that warn remote communities of LRA attacks and encourage members of the LRA to peacefully surrender. 8, Save the Children. Puts children first, making sure they are healthy, safe, and getting an education. Where there is a disaster, they may make sure to put the children first. Save the Children helps children in 120 countries, including the United States. And we have 2 more to go. We have International Committee of Red Cross. And a lot of persons may have a local Red Cross in your area. ICRC helps those affected by armed conflict or natural disasters. Many of these issues occur without warning. Many of these issues occur without warning. The ICRC is there to help and deploy people to tend to those in need right when the attack strikes. Some of the things that the ICRC does is visiting detainees, make sure these detainees are treated with dignity and humanity. The ICRC also protects civilians where there is war and conflict. They help those living in conflict by giving them basic health care. I remember being a Red Cross at school. All right, so the last one we have is the MSF, or this is a Spanish name that I can't pronounce, but it's really called Doctors Without Borders. The MSF tends to those living in war zones. And when a natural disaster strikes, the MFS is there to help. They were founded in Paris, France in 1971, and they offer assistance to people based on needs, irrespective of race, religion, gender, political affiliation, and is a worldwide movement of 23 associations. And so these are the top 10 charities that are changing the world. Just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And we're in the month of May, it's Child's Month and all these other things. And we have these community groups at school, like the Brownies and the Scouts and so on. And we have to definitely, really feel passionate to say this, we have to make sure that our children are being a part of these community groups and learning. It will help them to understand not to take things for granted and how blessed they are and privileged in some regard to have some of the amenities that they do have. So shout out to all the charities this morning.
Yes. And while we're on charities, we also really want to support the community, right, Marsha, our local communities and everything like that. So we want to go and spotlight Miss Lauren Carter and her fundraiser that is going on in the community of Mount Vernon.
Definitely. And we know that election draws nigh. Election draws nigh, and so we definitely invite everyone. We here at UME Radio, we definitely support her as a person and what it is that she is trying to do, and we encourage you to visit her website, right? And she has a fundraiser that is coming up on Memorial Day, and we invite you to be a part of it. You want to know what you can do to help? Be a part of this fundraiser. And you can find out more about the fundraiser. It's between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can visit umeradio.com/fundraiser to find out how you can participate, how you can be a part of being the change that you want to see by being on Orange's team. Very important. It takes cash to care, doesn't it, Jessie? It takes cash to care. All right. And so once you are on the page, you'll be able to see we're going to be taking over quite a few of the event though. We have our Let's Talk Relationships Takeover, and that's on June 7 at 9, and she will be taking over our show. So we are definitely looking forward to having her. We've been featuring her the past 2 months, and it's been such a pleasure to speak with her. Such a great personality, and she has such robust plans. And she doesn't just have a plan, but she is actually educating herself. She's now doing her master's in urban planning. So you have someone that not just cares, but they have the tools to bring a change to the Mount Vernon community. So we're so proud of her, and we encourage you to support her. Lauren Carter, Democrat, running for City Council. All right. So Jessie, take us through DJ Top 5.
All right, Marsha. So my DJ Top, that's my happy dance because I feel like I'm coming up. But my DJ Top 5 for this week is, first, I have some repeat song guys because I absolutely love them. The first is Alive by Rachel Kerr. And I feel like you guys, if you guys follow her on Instagram, if you guys don't, do it because she is absolutely amazing. She has some singles out that are on Instagram, but I haven't seen it on like Spotify yet. So I don't think she officially dropped it. I think she did like in a live, what you call it, Marsha? Like a live, live event, like a Zoom event type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that single is called Live, and she's a powerhouse. Then I got classic Mary Walking. We all know that.
Yeah.
I'm walking. Yep. So I got that. Yes. And then I have KJ Scriven, Perfect God.
Mm-hmm.
I have Man of Your Word by Chandler, and then I have my last one is He's God by, I'm a little bit biased, but it's like the best choir ever because it's my home church, Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir. He's God. So yes. So that's my top 5. What's yours?
Awesome. Well, before I go to my top 5, for those of you who are watching for the first time, there's this rivalry that we have going like every single week on the station where we pretty much tell you guys to go ahead and vote, and you can visit umeradio.com/DJ Top 5 where all our DJs on the station. We have DJ KTE, we have Lady Misty, we have DJ Kelly, we have official Marsha J, that's myself, and we have of course Lady Jessie. And what happens is that we choose 5 songs every single week that we know that's going to be a blessing to you. And we ask you to go over to the website and to vote. And you can see these songs here on the website. And you will see each of our names, the songs we have chosen for that particular week. And once you have enjoyed the playlist, you scroll back to the top, and our engineer is going to take us back to the top so you can actually see what happens. And it says vote for your favorite DJ playlist, and you can vote for, I think, one or more, and then you can rate your overall experience on the page, definitely. And so we invite you to go over there every single week. And also, don't be afraid to let us know the type of songs that you want to hear on the station as well. You can send us an email, inbox one of us as DJs. We are found all over at our handles that are currently on the screen now. And you can let us know so that we can add it to our playlist, thanks to you. So in terms of my playlist for this week, I have None Like You by Shauna Kane. I have Psalm 23 by Trey McLaughlin. And I also have We Come to Worship by The Gratitude, awesome group out of Africa. Rabababa A. I know it sounds weird, but that's the title of the song, and it's by The Gratitude as well. And last but not least, if you are into high praise, and Canton Jones, he does this song called I Can't Help It, and that's my top 5 for this week. Jesse, definitely an awesome pick. Thank you for your picks, but we know who's gonna win this week. Yes, we know. Let's get ready to rumble. And now we go inside our talent segment. Last week we had an interesting conversation with Kay Anthony, recording artist, judo nominee out of Canada, and now we are going to complete our interview with him right now. All right. And so a little bit about, we just spoke about Kay Anthony. One of the more interesting things I admire about Kay Anthony is the fact, or one of the more interesting things that I've noticed, Jesse, and one of the things he said to us even in the green room, or our engineers asking if it played. No, it didn't play. It did not play at all. Is that when he was in Jamaica, because he's originally from Jamaica, he was
to God's. Sometimes God will give you a little thing that He's saying, "Hey, I need to get your attention here." Sometimes we take long to fall into that path. So I want young Christians and young people and people in general to develop a true passion and a true love for Christ. Have a real relationship, a genuine relationship, like how we are conversing at this point in time. Understanding that God is real and it's not a figment of your imagination. I think if we develop that relationship, the more that relationship grows, we'll tend to have this respect for Him, where we'll be reverent in His presence and understand that He's an awesome God. So it all boils down for me in our Christian walk as in developing a relationship with Christ. I want young people to know that if you fall, you can rise above that hurdle. I have fell many times in my life, but the good thing is that I have accepted God's mercy and moved forward instead of staying in the same position. I want young people to know, and people in general to know, that the best decision they could have made is to accept Christ.
Awesome.
That's beautiful.
Awesome. We do have another listener question well, a listener comment first. True, he is real, not mystical, not a fantasy, but very real. And then we have another listener question says, how old is he?
Well, that's going to be one that I'm not going to share. I don't hide it because it's there if they want to find out, but they can find out.
All right.
Google, guys. Still for Google.
Yeah, go ahead, Jesse.
Okay, so we have another question that says, how intentional do you have to be to achieve your success? And what are some things that people may not understand, to dive a little bit more deeper into the business of music versus business as other businesses? I don't know, let's say retail, them starting their own business or something like that.
Oh, intentional. One, you have to know if this is what God has set out for you to do, else you'll be kicking against a stone. From early, I had a should I tell them this? So from early, I had a plan for my own, should I say, career or ministry. Actually, I saw it beyond where I'm from. And people might say, you probably think that you're better than, I don't think I'm better than anyone at all. However, I grew up listening to certain genres. I was never more inclined to my genre within my country. That was what was interesting. And so when I started doing music, because at that point in time when I was interested in music, I didn't think of doing music professionally. As I said, the way I got into music was as a result of not being able to at a particular university and starting out doing planning to do 1 year of university studying music and then switch to the other university. I want to make sure I'm answering your question.
No problem.
Can you repeat so I can make sure that what I'm going to give is right?
Yep. So the question was, how intentional you have to be to achieve your success?
Yes. So you have to be a strategist, very strategic. I studied the market of music from early, meaning I would make observation of different artists that I'm interested in. Look at their approach. I have tons and tons of connection that I've built over the years, which would blow people away. That I built my own connection list in various countries. So you have to be very strategic in doing music. I believe you should be a student of the word. You should spend a lot of time studying, because if it's like, what is filling this man? What is filling this vessel? Whatever is filling the vessel is what is going to be poured out. So if nothing has been poured into the vessel, nothing good will come out of it.
Yep.
Or if you're feeding your mind on things that you shouldn't be, what you're pouring out won't be as potent. Hopefully I'm making sense. And so if you're spending time studying the word or having conversation about your love relationship with Christ, it will be able to be seen. And that has to be intentional. You have to be intentional in spending time with God, so that whatever you're presenting to the world is that.
Yeah.
Okay.
May I ask a question? I'm the DJ. I'm DJ Kelly. And as I'm listening to you speak, yes, and I'm watching the process you're going through to even answer the questions. It's very intentional. And so I'd like to, if the host will allow me, just to add an addendum to that question.
Yes.
I like that you're saying, you have to be a student of the word to really represent God through music, especially in an industry. The music is an industry that is very influential, right? And it also is greatly influenced, right? Oftentimes I see ministers or persons who are artists saying they're gospel artists. Yes. And I don't know how intentional they are or how seriously they take that call, because I think sometimes when we do work, quote unquote, for God, we just do whatever we can. If I go to work for the man, I have to go study for years, the degree, and then I come out and then I get a job and I go through orientation and I go and I invest in getting the right clothes to wear to work. And this is me working for the man.
Mm-hmm.
But do we do that when we're working for God? How intentional are we? I'll say this. I've looked at your Instagram account and I saw intention. I don't know if that's what you intended us to see, but I saw intention. I see you being very intentional about how you position yourself as an artist, right? And that's one of the reasons I do what I do. I went to NCU too. I'm very proud of it. I did media too. And so one of the things that I am very, my call is I'm a divine purpose investor, and I believe that God has called us at a time like this to work with faith-based persons to position their ministry to stand up against the world's ministry, because it's a ministry they're doing too, right? They're very intentional with it, and they're very they fund it, and they're intentional and they work it, right? I'm getting to the question, but I feel sometimes like when I hear sometimes we've had persons we say, okay, come, let's do an interview. And they're all over the place. And I don't know how seriously we take it when we walk out and say, I'm a gospel artist. What does that mean to you? Is it any different from if you say, I'm a country music artist, or I'm a this artist, or I'm a songwriter? Is there a difference when you say, I am a kingdom champion? I come with a ministry for God. Does that influence your decisions, the way you represent yourself, the way you represent your music, the investment, the intention? And if it does, then maybe you could speak to the person who does have a gift but is not taking it as intentional. I love that you said that God is real, He's not some mystical fantasy. He's absolutely real. So that's my question.
Thanks. Okay. So I appreciate your comment and your kind words. I'm very, very intentional about every single thing I do, especially when it comes to my music. Nothing is by accident that I put out when I put it out. What I'm putting out, none of it comes by accident. We all know the story of the talent. Now, I'm undeserving of even trying to represent God in any way.
Grace.
That's the reality of it. Yeah. However, His mercy and His grace is why I even do this. Because He thinks with His covering, I'm worthy. I could give you many stories why I decided, because I didn't have to. We have a choice, and there were points in time when I thought of doing something else. But each time I tried to think of doing something else, it's almost like something was lost inside of me. So this is you guys are getting some stories that probably a lot of people have not gotten. So this is how intentional I am. I would work 3 jobs to make sure that the quality of what I put out represents God first and myself after. Some of it was good because after a while you do get tired. As I said, first you have to know as a person, is this what God desires of you? Because sometimes we do things thinking that this is what God wants for our lives, and this is not what He wants. Now, since He has given you this talent, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to nurture it? I decided, outside of the fact that I went to university, to do some more work outside of that, because I wanted to build what He has given to me. So it doesn't come easy. So you have to work. So I'd go to this voice class here. I would partner with different persons to improve on my writing. We cannot do it we cannot be working for God and just do it in any way. You're representing the King of Kings. And I'm not just saying that. If we're going to do it, you have to do it to the best of your ability, means that you're going to invest the time and the effort and the energy into it. The best version of who you, it's a cliche thing, but this is a reality. You're supposed to give the best version of yourself. And the best version of yourself is simply working to the best of your ability, acquiring all the possible knowledge that you can acquire to build what God has given to you. And that is how the story of the talent really reveals itself, in the sense that talent was given. What have you added to it? What have you done with it? Did you go out and search for more knowledge and then build on top of that, or did you just say, "Oh, it's not enough"? I'm not the best vocalist. I knew this from the get-go. I'm not the most handsome person, so I present myself well. And something I learned early is to partner with people who have something that complements what I have, and who is interested to build what I have so I can present it to the world. Not sure if I answered your question. Hopefully I did. But being intentional is not just saying you're intentional. Intentional meaning you understand your purpose. You're working in your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And it might not happen overnight, because I shed a little tiny bit of tear when I was nominated. Because I've been doing this for a while and I've never been nominated for nothing. I'm not doing it for nomination, but people will say they're having the award show, and as a human, I'm being, as I said, I'm being transparent. As a human being, you'll feel like you're not appreciated or what you're doing. There's a little noise that will come at times. That's the reality. But I honestly learned how to push away that noise and work hard. I work very, very hard, and that's something that I thank God for, to instill. My parents instilled that in me. And what I've acquired is more salvific, is perseverance. I've learned to persevere. That times won't be easy. However, how much are you going to rely on God? I had sleepless nights, cry all the time by myself, because I think this is not working as how I wanted. But what I've learned is sometimes we pray for things, realizing that we are not prepared for it. Before you pray and ask God to open or enlarge your territory, you need to make sure that you're prepared for that.
Please, that. You know, the things I just learned is when I don't know if it's a case where we're not taught to manage abundance. We pray for it, we ask for it, we're dying for it, but sometimes we can't even see it, nor do we understand how to handle it. Yeah. I've had the experience of hearing people say, I want money, 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 and then you make the money. Now here it is. What's next? Because there's an abundance that comes. How do you manage that abundance? How do you become that caretaker that increases that abundance that God has given you through His grace, so that others can be blessed by it? How have you learned to be that kind of custodian over what God has blessed you with, so that it can bless others?
While I'm working, God has revealed my intent and who I am as a person. Mm-hmm. And if I'm honest, which I should be, or which anyone should be, then I turn to God and I say, hey, my intent is not all right. And I thank you for revealing that to me. I need your help to make sure that my intention is right. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Sometimes we are doing something and we there's a part. You have to be honest. There's a part of you that want acclamations, want to win this, but then so God will reveal who you are. Mm-hmm. No, you need to accept it and then say, okay, I see what you're saying. You're not prepared. You're not ready. That's what I'm telling you. And I want you to be ready. I want you to realize that that's a weakness that you have and you need to grow past this. So I'm revealing it to you. And I'm not giving this. You see, we have to be with God like He's the parent. He's the best parent. He's not going to give you a gift that you're not ready for. If He gives you the gift, that means He is enough for you to hold on to. Yes. To not falter, to not allow the gift to allow you to falter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well said.
Just for our listeners that just came, when you said that, it instantly, a good image is that a parent's not going to give a 9-year-old keys to the car to drive.
No matter how if it's a smart parent.
If it's a smart parent. Exactly. A smart parent is not going to do that. They're going to wait till they're age appropriate to start to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Understanding. You see, there's many things. We have the information. We sometimes don't get the understanding at the same time, but sometimes we don't get the gift of how to apply the information. And if you're not able to apply that information, God is not going to move you.
That's true. My question, what advice would you give to young artists, upcoming artists, based on all of your experience about the ministry, the industry, and the artistry of music?
Learn to separate them, but yet still be able to combine them all. As I said, for me, I've invested so much money in music. I thank God for the wife that He gave me. I've invested so much money in music. It will blow your mind, but it's because I had a dream. I had a dream from early. What I would tell any young artist is, I go back to the same thing. You need to know that this is what God intended for you. Sometimes we ourselves birth some ideas that is not what God intends, because it looks good. It looks good. I know a few artists that people see on TV. It looks good, but it's not all gold. It's not. It's the truth. If some people would tell you, they would tell you that it's the truth. So they need to really invest in your talent. If you think this is what God has chosen you to do, you need to invest in your talent. Especially before.
What does invest in your talent? What does that look like?
Okay, and thank you for allowing me to so I could express it better. Everything takes stages. So you want to work with people who brings quality, because the reality of it is, if someone present me with, say, if somebody should contact me now and say, hey, I want to do a song with you, you know, your presentation is gonna be, I have a very high standard for my own self. So people might think I'm cocky because I might say no. No. If they only knew me as a person, it's only now that I've learned to be more mature and handle it better. But I also have such a hard time beating up my own self. If someone send me a product that's not where my ears are minded, set is, I'm gonna nice to say at this point in time, no. So you have to build yourself in terms of working at the right people, trying to pull together a team of people around you that believe in what you have. Because if you're the only one that believe in what you have, sometimes there's a concern because you're probably hearing something different. Sometimes your mother shouldn't be your biggest support, in a sense that saying, oh yes, everything she says is good. Always be a student of your job, of your gift, of your ministry. Be a student, be open to learn. And learn fast. Try to work. In building yourself, you probably need to think, how am I going to acquire the money to invest back into the gift or into what God has given me to present to people? So that's something that you have to think about. Because in working with someone who brings quality, it's going to cost. Because they pay for their time of learning, etc., etc. And as a result of that, it's going to cost more than the average Joe. You might go and knock up a guy and say, hey, I want to do production with you. It's different. Put yourself out there. But put yourself out there well, dressed well. Just try and represent yourself and God well, and whenever you step out to say, I'm doing this. Because believe it or not, you're competing. There's no two way. You're competing in many ways of that word express. Young people are drawn to certain styles and so forth. And I'm not saying you should water down nothing that you're doing. I'm just saying that you have to bring quality, because you're already at a disadvantage if you're not. So you have to say, okay, how am I going to get my music to sound like it can be really listened to? So I think that is important. But as I said over and over, know for sure this is what God intended for your life, because it's not a bed of roses.
Thank you so much for that. Jesse, I'm not sure if you have any more questions.
See, we have one more. Is, who do you admire in the music industry, and what's your motivation?
I admire quite a few people. I love old music, so it's hard. I love some new stuff, but I'm probably gonna shock you. I really like Otis Redding. I like song that is raspy and raw. So I love those, and I'm not just saying it. There's something about those voices that I really, really like, and as a result of that, there's someone now that I like because of that. Al Green, Sam Cooke, John Legend, and someone who people think that I have some things in common, which not somewhat. Not probably no, but before, when it just came up, Mali Music. I love. I grew up listening to a lot of Fred Hammond. and also I was in an a cappella group, so I love that also. And then Dante Bowie and Chandler Moore, I like that because they have a raw sound that I like. Yeah, pretty much that. But I listen to everything. I don't necessarily sit down and admire any one artist. It doesn't matter who it is. I look at what's negative about them and what's a positive, and I say, interesting. And I will say, okay, I would love to be able to do that. I will be able to write. Why did he say this? Or why did he do that? So I will look at those things and probably add them to my arsenal, if you want to call it that.
Understood. Well, you know what? We salute you and we support you as a recording artist, and not just a regular recording artist, but one that does it for the kingdom. Okay, Anthony, thank you so much for being with us here on Weekends with Marsha J and Jesse. And we do look forward to, and congratulations on your new single, by the way. Yes, Free. I've watched the video and it's definitely going to be a part of my DJ Top 5. That's a competition we have going on that's coming up right after this, guys. So do not go anywhere. Do not go anywhere. But thank you so much for gracing us with your presence today and for the words of wisdom that you shared. And I'm sure that, all persons who are interested in music on a whole can definitely glean from what it is that you have said and shared, and will definitely take them to heart. Thank you so much and have a great day. A great rest of the day.
I want to take the time to thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure. I never take this for granted. And I'm very appreciative of the fact that you give me this platform to talk. I appreciate you guys.
You're welcome. All right, Jesse. Definitely an awesome interview there with Kay Anthony. And now we are inside our travel segment, one of my favorite segments. I absolutely love to travel. It just gives me different perspective on life and things like that. And so, guys, here's a big biggie about me traveling. So since COVID-19, I've been pondering whether or not I should travel. Not only because of the pandemic, but because of other health issues that I've been having. And that's just me self-disclosing and just being really honest about travel. However, I am also excited to see what's happening over there in New York and to visit the UME Live studio. And I'll be taking you on the road with me. So the last time we had this conversation, we had spoken about just tips as to somebody when we are traveling. One thing I did not mention was that you need to check your passport for your expiration date and also your visa when you are traveling, guys. Listen, this pandemic can just leave you in such a space that you're not even thinking about whether or not your visa is still valid or your passport is still valid. So that's something that we definitely want to look into. Also, one of the things that we want to have a tips on screen, and this is just for reiteration, and then I'll be adding some airport travel tips, what to do. Guys, please be early to the airport. I remember the first time I traveled to Disney World in 1993. It was when I got to the airport and I was in the 3rd grade. I forgot my passport at home. Please don't let that happen to you. Listen.
What happened?
Luckily for us as kids, because we're in the 3rd grade, we had enough time to turn back, get my passport, and then come back to the airport. So make sure that you have a whole checklist as to things that you need to have on you when you are heading through the door to go to the airport. All right, the second one is watch your bags when you are at the airport. A lot of times luggages look alike. And we spoke, Jesse, about making sure to tag your luggage uniquely so that they don't get misplaced at the airport and things like that. The next one is avoid changing money and flashing large amounts at the airport. As a matter of fact, this thing may actually be outdated because the last time I went to the airport in 2021, about 2018, 2019, somewhere there, they actually took no money at all. You actually have to use a swipe card. And if you do have cash, there's actually a kiosk, what we call a kiosk machine at the airport now, where you put the cash in and it transfers the cash to the card. It is not a credit card by any means, guys, or a debit card. It's just a way of converting your cash to a card so you could actually pay for your item. I also want to insert here that ensure that the weight of your luggage is right. You have at least 50 pounds of free weight that you are able to take with you. And for those of us who are going up, most times, from a Caribbean perspective, I've seen so many persons have an actual empty suitcase that they travel with, but when they come back down, a lot of weight are overweight, and they did not have any way of measuring or weighing, I should say, weighing their luggage. So that's important. And there are these really cool scales that you can even slip in your handbag that would encourage you to get, that you can use to measure your luggage before you actually leave your location. If you don't have the 50 pounds or you're over the 50 pounds, they may give you grace for like maybe 1 or 2 extra pounds, but then after that, you're charged, right? And by the way, who wants to walk around with luggage that is absolutely heavy? Nobody at all.
Marsha, I have a story on that real quick. Sorry to interject.
Sure.
It's kind of funny, but have an aunt. I love her. But she was known to, whenever she would come to the States and then go home She was known to have the luggage to be overweight, or if we had like a family trip and we were that family, whenever she was there, they had to open up her suitcase and try to take out whatever she had and put it in our suitcases because we had like extra 2 pounds to spare, so that it was evenly distributed to guys. Just you don't want to be that person.
No, you don't. Because worst, how you pack your bags is absolutely important. Because I remember I had to take what do you call those in between flights? I had a long layover, and then I had to go to New Jersey instead of New York to come back to where I was. And there's this lady that opened her suitcase, and all the unwashed pile of clothes was just like, hello,
out there. Oh no!
Including personal wears. And so guys, be very wise in how you pack your clothes, just in case you have to open them at the airport and you are late for your flight, so you have to be throwing things around. Your personal items, kind of keep them in a like a plastic bag or something, or unwashed clothes. You know, just be mindful of how you pack those, okay? Because you never know. You never know. All right. So the next tip is take a photo of your luggage before traveling. Now, I've never done that, but that's actually a good idea. Actually, a grand idea. Right? Make extra copies of documents of make an extra copy of your passport and your important documents. And that goes without saying. Always have pictures of yourself just in case they get lost or stolen or hijacked or something. Then you have a copy of what it is supposed to look like. Even before you travel, just have them somewhere in the clouds up there that you can make reference to. Keep calm and just breathe. How many persons, when the plane is actually taking off? Case in point, guys. So when I was leaving Jamaica in 2018, there was a lot of space on the plane. And so I'm thinking I have 3 chairs in the row where I am, and I can just spread out and just be cool and then the captain comes on and he says, okay, folks, we don't have a full flight today, so feel free to sit wherever you want to. And this was before COVID. Lo and behold, a lady came and sat right beside me, and she hung on to my arm. And she was like, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. And I'm like, okay, in my mind, who are you? What are you doing here? And why are you holding on to me?
Why are you touching me?
Invasion of personal bubble. But really and truly, some persons have a phobia for flying. And based on how the ladies treated her, she flew often. It's just that she hated the part where we actually had to take off and land. And I just thought to myself, if I were her, what would I want somebody to be telling me at the moment? So should in case, guys, you come across someone that's like this, you yourself just stay calm and breathe, and also encourage the person next to you to stay calm and breathe. Definitely, you also want to bear in mind that because of the change in cabin pressure, your ear will feel some sort of pain. So having a chewing gum is absolutely something that I would recommend anyone to do. If you don't have a chewing gum, just pretend like you have one, or close your mouth, cover your nose, and blow, and you'll hear like a popping feeling in your ear, and that normally helps you while you are traveling. Let's go to the next tip. It says, place a copy of your contact info inside your checked bag. And for some of us, we have tags on the outside, but sometimes you can get tape, and tape is so good too. I'm sorry, guys, do not get tape. Properly put a label inside your suitcase. So just in case something on the label on the outside falls off, there's something on the inside that can be used to identify your luggage. Don't just put your name, guys. Put your name, contact number, and an address just in case it's something that they have to ship to you. Speaking of shipping to you, there was a point in time where I did travel and my large suitcase did not arrive the same time I did. It ended up in actually another country. So what I've started to do now is my carry-on. My carry-on has at least 24 hours worth of clothing. So like a slipper, underwear, small lotion, nightwear, a change of top. You don't have to have like a whole lot of clothes, just in case of emergencies. That's something to bear in mind. All right. And what to bring? Your passport, your government ID, just enough cash. Yes, even though we said they don't really use cash, but after you've left the airport, you may need to get something to eat. So cash, mobile phone, and a power bank. I cannot explain to you the beauty of a power bank when you are traveling. So I had a delayed flight, and you know how the plugs are built into the walls in the airport, and somehow all the walls were filled, and I was like, man, I needed to charge. And worst, lo and behold, do you know who was walking by me the very same day? Who? William McDowell.
Really?
Because I had read before I left that he and his wife were actually celebrating their anniversary, but I wasn't expecting to see them in the airport, and I saw the guy, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to stop him and take a picture. It's one of those moments where you become starstruck and you think you're saying something, but you're actually saying nothing, and you have the whole conversation that's going on in your head. That happened.
Yep. That happened to me too. I was starstruck one time.
Yeah, and by the time I actually got up to take a picture, he left.
Oh no.
So make sure that you have your power bank, guys. All right, so back to what to bring in terms of just enough cash. So you need to have cash in hand or on your card, credit or debit card. That's critical and important, okay? Especially if you're not traveling with a lot of money, but somebody's supposed to meet you or somewhere. Always have, my mother would say, always have your get Bex money. And I'm saying that slow for persons who may not understand my accent. Get Bex money. Make sure in case of emergencies, you have extra cash on you always. All right. All right. Then we have what to wear. One of my favorites. Absolutely. Now, let me start with medical conditions, right? So if you have cold urticaria or eczema, because they are the opposites of each other, I sometimes suffer from cold urticaria, which is pretty much an allergy to extreme cold temperatures. Airports are oftentimes cold, especially if you're in an extremely large airport and you have to take a train from one end to the other. Make sure that you're dressed warm. Make sure that you have your medication. That's important. And in terms of footwear, because since 9/11, there has been a drastic change in security. So TSA, when you get to your different TSA points, you are gonna have to take off your shoe, take off your socks, unpack your laptops and things like that. So I say, even though for medical conditions you're staying warm, but make sure that you wear light stuff. Some checklists will tell you that in order to make space in your suitcase, you need to layer your clothes, and that's okay. You can do that, but just in case you don't need to, just make sure you wear something really light. It's summer now, so I would say grab a Bermuda shorts, nothing too short and outlandish. A Bermuda shorts, a nice shirt, a light sweater, and a nice slipper where you can probably push your toes in and just go. Earbuds, definitely necessary, especially if you're traveling in one of those planes that have the upgraded feature of allowing you to watch what's going on the screen, like a movie or some sort of entertainment if you get bored or need some distraction because you get air sickness. Definitely important. Easy slip-on shoes, comfortable outfit, light sweater, like I said. Avoid belts, heavy boots, buckles, coats, hats, chains, and jewelry, guys. That's not the time to make a fashion statement. Right? Not the time. All right. So those are our travel tips for traveling this summer. Whether you're traveling domestically or internationally, they all apply. And from us here at UME Radio, we want to say happy traveling. I'll tell you, I'll try to get some shots. Hopefully I can use my camera at the airport to see you guys and find some really unique moments. But that's it. Anything to add?
Okay, a little story when you said the struck thing. Mine isn't as cool as yours, but It was one actress that I watched on a show. I love like crime shows and everything like that, and she was the medical examiner. Autopsy. Forgotten her name, but anyway, I saw her out in the area where you're like waiting for like cars to pull up or anything like that.
Is this like CSI?
Was it CSI?
Is it Abby? Because I absolutely love Abby.
She's a black. No, not Abby. Not Abby.
Oh, okay.
She's a black female actress. I don't think it's CSI. Is it? Anyway, but I saw her where like the cars would pull up, you know, when they're getting the passengers and stuff like that. So we and my family, we just came from like baggage claim and we're waiting for a taxi to help us. And I look and she's sitting right next to me, Marsha, right next to me.
Wow.
And I'm looking and I'm like, is this her? Is this her? And I'm like doing that same mental process. But then she had the look on her face like half, don't you know who I am? And half annoyed because then she got phone and was like, I'm waiting here for like 2 hours. It's like, oh, I want to say hi and I really like you, but you also look upset. So let me not. But yeah, that's my little story on that.
Wow, awesome. You know, travel adventures are always something to record and to talk about. I don't know how people don't like to travel because there's so many things that could happen. I could tell you stories for days, from traveling first class without paying for it to riding in Jaguars, and I had no idea that I would. But either way, once you love to travel, we also want to invite you to check out our website, Entrepreneurs and Love, travelboss.com, where, you know, once you're traveling, they're able to do quite a bit of things, whether it's booking for cruise lines or planes or just simply renting a car. You know, it's all there and it's all within our network. And we want to make sure that for every single encounter you have, it's a pleasurable one. Yay! And with that being said, Jessie, we are at the end of our show today. Can you believe that? We have one final thing before we go.
Category.
Let me get a pen. I'm trying to find a pen. Hold on.
Oh, no.
There we go. And what's the letter for? The letter for today? It feels like Sesame Street.
I was just about to say that.
The letter of the day is R. Like Coach Racquel. All right. So we have 120 seconds. You can play along with us, guys. Play along with us. Right? So how many words can you make with the letter R? And you have 120 seconds to get it right. Now, when we're checking off, you and I, or Jessie and you, or all three of us have the same words, then you cannot get a point for that particular word. That's the only rule. All right, so ready?
Yep.
Set. Go. Items in a suitcase. Ugh. Animals in books or movies. Items in your purse. Guys, you can also get creative with your answers, okay? Villains and monsters. Movie titles. Things with tails. Book titles. Items in this room.
This room, like
your room. Boy's name. Things that are sticky. Hobbies. Celebrities. Things with tails. Movie titles. yet. Aww. Pencils down, people. Pencils down. Pens down. All right, Jesse, you go first.
Okay. A suitcase, rainbows. They're going to a place. Gonna rain heavy. I know. Animals in books or movies. Rats. Items in your purse or wallet. I don't know. The first thing that came to mind is ribbon.
What? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Villains or monsters. Villain, I put Rapunzel's witch or stepmom, the person that kidnapped Rapunzel and put her in the tower. That person. Movie titles, I put Rayman. Things with tails, I have rats again. Book titles, I skipped that one. Items in this room, ragtail comb. A boy's name, I have Ryan or Robert. Things that are sticky, I have raised gum. Hobbies, riding horses. And celebrities, Ryan Gosling.
Okay, good one. All right, so for me, items in my suitcase, I put raincoat. I don't know why, I was just trying to be crazy, right? Animals in books or movies, I have reindeer. All right, items in purse or wallet, ring. And villains or monsters, I have RoboCop. I hope that counts or something. Movie titles, I went blank on that.
RoboCop would be a movie too.
Yes, you're right. You're actually right, but I didn't get that one. For the next one is things with tails. I have rabbit. Items in this room. How did I get there? Book titles. I missed that one. Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah. Items in this room. Ring light. I have a ring light. A boy's name, I have a friend called Reynard, Reinhard, Reynard. So that's a boy's name. Things that are sticky, I went blank on that one. Hobbies, Ringo, but Ringo was like a game, or was it a food? I don't know, but I just had Ringo. And then celebrities, I blanked out on celebrities. So far, of the 12, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Really? 9. 9 out of 12. How many did you get, Jesse? And we didn't overlap.
11.
Oh, I know you're so great at these games. And so Jesse is our declared winner for today, guys. And with that being said, thank you so much for joining us on Weekends with Marsha J and
Jesse, amplifying the voice of positive influencers.
Definitely want to say thank you to all those who are watching, all our sponsors, viewers, to the production team behind the scenes that you don't see that make the show absolutely awesome. To our guests that were on today, thank you so much for joining us. Remember to stay tuned because right after this, what's happening after this, Jesse?
We actually have our children's show, our children's episode with Auntie Jody and Auntie Trish. I'm so excited.
Me too, girl. Me too. Absolutely. It's week 2 and it's going to be the bomb.com. Stay tuned for UME Radio Kids podcast. And so, guys, thank you for joining us again. See you next week. God bless you and see you next time.
Bye.
Weekends on UME Radio. Get the UME Radio app.
Are you ready for the weekend?
Oh, yes, girl. Get your cup of tea and mic check, 1, 2. I am so ready
To inspire, motivate, and educate. Weekends on UME Radio. The sun is up and so are we.
News, interviews, hot topics. Connect with us. Let us know what's on your mind. Follow, comment, subscribe.
We're everywhere. UME Radio app, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, iTunes, TuneIn, and all other digital platforms. Email us info@umeradio.com. On WhatsApp, 201-503-6731. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, all at UME Radio. Follow me, Jesse, on Instagram at ink.jess, that's ink.jess, and on Facebook at Justine Abel, that's JESSELYNE Able, ABEL.
And follow me, Marsha J, on all social media platforms at official Marsha J. Or you can just check out marshajnow.com.
Weekends on UME Radio with Marsha J and Jesse.
Amplifying the voice of positive influencers.
UME Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7. Subscribe on YouTube and click the notification bell.